Imagine waking up suddenly in a tiny Airbnb with a view of Manhattan's bustling scaffolding, holding just an iPhone 16 Pro Max, a folding Bluetooth keyboard, and a half-finished oat latte. You have 48 hours to deliver a fully functioning demo of your Micro Habit app for a VC panel. Then comes the sinking feeling. Your essential MacBook just blue screened. Now, you must create an entire, shippable iOS app using only your phone. Let's rewind to understand how coding on a mobile device has become a realistic option in 2025, thanks to 4 significant advancements. First, Apple's Swift Playgrounds 5 introduced complete app template scaffolds, on-device Swift UI previews, and test flight push to beta directly from the share sheet. Next, Replit Mobile now hosts a containerized Linux VM that creates a public HTTPS tunnel in just 15 seconds. This allows for multi-file Git commits, Expo EAS builds, and one-click App Store Connect transfers, all without needing a laptop. The third key innovation is Xcode Cloud's 2025 upgrade, which enables triggering cloud-based XC test suites, incrementing build numbers, and notarizing binaries with Face ID through Safari web apps. Finally, Apple Intelligence rolled out its new 3 billion parameter code general model, securely generating code locally while protecting proprietary information, an essential privacy boost after the previous year's GitHub Copilot Echo leak incident. However, amidst the marketing hype, serious challenges remain. Limited screen space, occasional Bluetooth lag, App Store provisioning headaches, and the risky temptation to copy-paste from Stack Overflow, which can lead to compilation errors. This raises the question. While everyone loves the concept of coding on the go, many abandon it after just a few frustrating autocorrect or linker error experiences they cannot resolve without Homebrew. My goal is to evaluate every tool, overcome each obstacle, and demonstrate the possibility of launching a fully functional, Objective-C-free, Swift UI-centric app straight from an iPhone. The journey starts at 6 a.m. with setting up hardware. I attach a MagSafe stand to elevate my phone, pair it with a Keychron Ultra Slim mechanical keyboard, because typing 6,500 lines of code on screen is outdated, and begin with Swift Playgrounds blank app template. Using voice dictation, I instruct Apple Intelligence's Code Gen, which swiftly translates, create a tab view with 3 screens, stats, log, and streaks, into compilable Swift UI code without needing manual import statements. Swift Playgrounds features a live canvas that hot reloads at 90 Hz, but the real advantage lies in its app preview function. Tapping this option transfers a sandbox.app bundle directly to my device for testing, including haptics. The next challenge is persistence. Instead of grappling with Core Data's usual setup, I simply say, add a lightweight Realm store for daily habit entries, and Code General dutifully generates a model along with a migration handler, indicating version, Realm Swift 13. I upload my progress to GitHub through Playground's integrated source control. I can even dictate my commit messages, so, feat, initial Realm layer, is sent with no keystrokes required. Phase 2 involves cloud builds. I launch Safari, log into Xcode Cloud, and create a workflow that tracks the main branch. With a single tap, the C begins, compiling on Apple Silicon virtual runners, executing XC test in parallel shards, and auto-deploying to test flight if successful. All I have to do is monitor real-time logs and enjoy my espresso shots. Mid-morning, I face a setback. A failing unit test indicates an unwrapped optional. Debugging on this 6.7-inch display feels like performing delicate surgery, but I long press the error, select, open in Quick Look, and Xcode Cloud provides an inline diff, quickly solving my issue with a simple guard. In Phase 3, I turn to cross-platform trials. Replit Mobile has introduced a fresh Expo template. I import the repository via Git and prompt its AI chat with, Create a simple React Native component mimicking the Swift UI home view, watching as JSX appears effortlessly. I engage live preview. Within moments, a QR code initiates the Android build on a nearby Pixel 9, showcasing the iPhone's ability to manage a multi-platform C/CD environment. Replit also supplies a public HTTPS URL for the Node backend I previously voice-activated. Yes, you can set up Express servers on the go and expose them through secure tunnels. But here's the twist. Code Sandbox for iOS was discontinued last year, demonstrating that mobile IDs thrive or perish based on monetization. To guard against potential loss, I back up my code to play.js and working copy. An afternoon emergency arises when a provisioning profile conflict halts the test flight upload. Usually, locating certificates on iOS leads to frustration, but Xcode Cloud's recent just-in-time certificates feature automatically re-signs the build, a convenient update included in the iOS 26 Liquid Glass launch. This saves me an hour. As development progresses, I focus on design. I create icons in freeform, export them as SVGs, and upload them into Playground's asset catalog. The new color literal auto picker even recommends palette adjustments based on system tint. For accessibility, I command Apple Intelligence audit voiceover labels. It identifies 5 unlabeled buttons and provides suggestions. Concerning security, I state, run static analyzer, and Playgrounds processes the project through a local Swift lint rule set. Everything passes, apart from a potential memory leak. Instruments on iPhone can now diagnose leaks. With just a tap, the issue is resolved. The peak comes at 3 a.m. the night before demo day. My power bank is down to 12%, and my eyelids feel heavy. The C is successful, but Replit's Expo build fails due to an SDK version conflict. I grumble, update Node to 20, rebuild, which updates Replit's NICS configuration, allowing Expo to succeed. Meanwhile, Xcode Cloud notarizes the binary. TestFlight notifies early testers, all accomplished from my phone. At sunrise, I AirPlay the app to a hotel TV, stand on stage, and say, Apple Intelligence, generate personalized onboarding for a user interested in daily meditation. The model produces copy in real time, leaving the investors amazed. They've never before witnessed code compilation through Face ID approval. When the Q&A session touches on intellectual property, I explain that on-device code general operates in a sandbox, remaining entirely in the secure enclave, while Replit employs isolated containers, putting compliance concerns to rest. To wrap it up, yes, in 2025, you can code, test, build, and deploy a credible App Store-ready product with just an iPhone and, perhaps, a travel keyboard. Swift Playgrounds 5 covers 80% of what Xcode traditionally does. Xcode Cloud handles heavy C demands. Replit Mobile fills in cross-platform needs, and Apple's local LLM eliminates privacy issues. The grind continues. Small screens, certificate hurdles, and console log frustrations. But with voice dictation, AI helpers, and cloud compilers, this dream is not only alive but thriving. So, throw aside the excuses, embrace the glass slab-eyed, and let your voice take on the heavy lifting. Smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more tech challenges, future experiments, and honest discussions from TechWave 65.